What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Movie Emporium's Netflix original TV review of Cobra Kai Season 4. Now, before we begin, if you like this channel, awesome, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium, hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming in next. If you like any videos, awesome, hit that like button, as well as commenting below on any video that you watch, including this one. So, Cobra Kai Season 4 is the continuation of Season 3, as we know, because it's Season 4. It literally sees what happens after the deal that is struck between Cobra Kai and then the kind of teaming up of Eagle Fang and, of course, Miyagi-Do. Either whichever side wins, the other side has to cease being a karate kind of dojo in a lot of aspects. And so in the nutshell of this season, it sees, of course, Gianni and Daniel LaRusso kind of teaming up to train all their people. We've seen sides switch, between Hawk and, of course, Robbie and Miguel and all that stuff. We see, of course, John Kreese taking over Cobra Kai, putting it into form what we remember from the original series movies. And it's in essence how these two kind of groups of individuals start to go towards that All Valley tournament to eventually have that fight to, determine who wins. And then we bring Terry Silver into the mix, who's played by Thomas Ian Griffith from Karate Kid Part 3. And that's kind of where I want to leave it. There are sides that are struck, there are people that fight each other, and this is very much another season of Cobra Kai. So if you've seen the other 3 seasons, you know that there's going to be fighting, there's going to be people going against each other, there's going to be a lot of heated arguments, and there's going to be a lot of kind of twists and turns that happen that's basically decide how the season plays out. And so with Cobra Kai Season 3, we had John Kreese come back, we had him take over Cobra Kai Dojo and stuff like that. We had the, the kind of two sides, declaring war with one another to who's going to last at the end of Season 4. And so when Season 4 comes around, without spoiling anything to an extent, we have, of course, Thomas Ian Griffith, who was, of course, in Karate Kid Part 3 as Terry Silver, coming back into the mix. And as bad as that movie was, and as silly and stupid and over the top that movie got, Terry Silver's character was always a bright spot in that movie because he was menacing. Yes, he was over the top and goofy, kind of like John Kreese was, but there was a menace to him. He did really well bringing out the dark side of what Daniel LaRusso is, who's just not a very good person in a lot of aspects. And he just had this kind of aura about him that really fit into this universe. It would just kind of suck that he was in a terrible movie, just how the unfortunate nature worked. So allowing this character to come back, like they did with Chosen, like they did with, a couple other characters like John Kreese, this series, especially in Season 4, allows Terry Silver's character to have more dimension. It allows him to be more three-dimensional in aspects. It allows him to have a more depth to his character. And so we see a guy who regrets everything he's done, but there is a way that his character is and how he's pulled into the mix and how he works with John Kreese that brings this story into a much more interesting scenario that, when it eventually plays out, which I'll talk about in spoilers, is really fascinating in a lot of aspects. It leads to some really interesting things that are going to happen in Season 5. But the main focus of this series, and the thing that's starting to strain, especially as we saw in Season 3, is the relationship of Daniel and Johnny's character. They're fascinating characters to watch, but there's only a certain amount of fighting back and forth that you could handle with a series like this. At some point, it's going to get old. It's going to be kind of boring, and it's going to make the characters look really, really stupid in the long run. And with Season 4, it also brings back the rivalries of other certain characters and stuff like that. That's another thing where, because the characters have switched sides, they are starting to fight on different sides. And the thing about Season 4, and the thing that is starting to show, it seems, is the fact that these character dynamics have gotten to a point where they've outlived their welcome, to be fairly honest. The characters of, Daniel LaRusso's daughter and Tori, who is with Cobra Kai, Robbie and Miguel, other characters that come in the mix like Hawk and so on and so forth. They're kind of just wasted in this season, to be fairly honest. I love Terry Silver's character in this season. I love John Kreese's character in this season, but the other characters have gotten to a point where it's become stale, it's become boring, it's become so overused and overwrought that this series honestly and truly needs a new direction. I hate to say this, but every time they go to the All Valley tournament, they're just using the same storyline over and over and over. So for 10 episodes, you are constantly just watching these guys train, watching them fight each other on the outside. And it gets to a point where the last 2 episodes are fun and interesting, but they're not really, you're at a point where you've just seen it so many times before. Yes, there are newer, higher stakes, but there's got to be more. I mean, maybe take it out of the All Valley tournament. Do like what Harry Potter did, where they got out of the castle and got out of the schoolroom and kind of did something different with the story. Because here in season 4, it's just the same stuff over and over and over. You know where it's going to go. You know how these characters are going to act. You know there's probably going to be lessons learned at the end. And it's just kind of, it's tiresome, I'm going to be fairly honest. This isn't a very good season of television. It's actually the worst of the entire series, to be fairly honest. You know, it's kind of sad that once again, Thomas Ian Griffith is coming into a series or a show or a movie that is literally outstaying its welcome. After season 3, I was a little worried that it was going to do this, where it was just going to go a little too much samey, and that's exactly what it does. Even when it introduces this new kid who's named Kenny, who's this young black kid who is bullied and stuff like that, and he has an arc which leads him to a dojo, it feels like a trope, a stereotype. It feels like it's been overused and overwrought. It feels like the creators have nothing to tell anymore. It feels like they're trying to say something, but the story has just been done a billion times before. And just overall, this season, I'll talk about more about, like I said, in my spoiler review, but it doesn't work, to be fairly honest. It's gotten to a point where I think season 5 should end the series. Unless they come up with something truly unique, truly original. They end it in a very kind of cool way with a cool kind of climax or a cool cliffhanger. But if they're going to do the same exact storylines, they're going to go down the same exact, routes and stuff like that, the series is just going to do like what every other series does, like The Flash or, the Green Arrow or whatever. It's just going to become boring and stale. And that's what season 4 has become. It's showing its seams. Those seams are ripping really hard, and this season, outside of a few interesting kind of concepts and ideas, just really doesn't know what it wants anymore. It just kind of is repeating the same thing. The first 2 seasons of the series were fantastic. They really brought new interesting kind of concepts and ideas to these characters, and like I said, they brought back John Kreese, which was an incredible thing to do because he's a great villain. And season 4 just kind of completely throws it to the side and just makes another, we're going to the All Valley tournament and we're going to have conflicts in between. And I'm tired of seeing that. I really am. But yeah, like I said, I'm still going to try and give the benefit of the doubt to season 5. I did think it was interesting what they did with the end of season 4 when it came to the cliffhanger. But until then, until we see season 5, I just have to think that they need to right the ship. They just need to redo something. They need to kind of look into themselves to figure out what they truly want, because if season 5 is exactly like season 4, it needs to end at this point. So that's my honest take of the 4th season of Cobra Kai in a non-spoiler sense. Once again, I'll do a spoiler review when it comes out on the 31st. But otherwise, I'm going to give the season a 6 out of 10. Like I said, it's the worst of the series so far. It's not very good, and I don't like the dynamics. So there you go. Anyways, that'll do it. That'll be my non-spoiler take of Cobra Kai season 4. Thank you so much for watching. Comments below. Are you looking forward to this season? What did you think of the last 3 seasons? What do you think of Cobra Kai overall? Otherwise, if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at the top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button, and as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.